in Game 3, only to see the Jazz ultimately win in 5. Shaquille O'Neal and Greg Foster tip it up, and it's controlled by Utah.
In the early going, games 1 and 2, Utah has gotten very few points out of their UCLA cuts, which you're seeing right now. Now, Fox just popped John Stockton with a forearm, knocked him right to the floor.
Hornacek is guarded by Eddie Jones, knocking the ball away. 7 on the shot clock and a turnover. Fox to Jones, going strong to the hoop, and it's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Utah Jazz. So we see how the Lakers are starting out, setting the tempo.
Yeah, they're going to be very physical here. Now just watch as Stockton comes down to set the screen. Watch this. Bam. Now, if the referees are going to allow that to go, it's going to be difficult for Utah to screen on the baseline.
Eddie Jones misses a baseline shot, and it's tipped up and in as Ori and Jones were there, and they'll give the credit, the basket, to Eddie Jones.
Well, there'll be more energy here tonight, Dick. They'll play with more enthusiasm, but let's see if they can sustain it.
Greg Foster got a friendly bounce from the forearm rims. That looked like it was going off, but it went up in the air and went through. So,
hey, he's shooting 73%. Of course you get that wrong.
He loves these playoffs. Shaquille O'Neal with a turnaround. Shaquille O'Neal, who was named to the first team, NBA team, for the first time in his career.
Well, the big fella's attempting 19 shots a game, and he's getting to the line 12 times. So you know he's getting the catches.
Hornacek looking to get off. He has been struggling from the field thus far.
I think the big mystery in the series, Dick, has been Hornacek, no doubt about it. He's only getting 5 shot attempts a game.
No question about it, but John Stockton is called for the personal foul, so Hornacek wants to get off on the right foot. Stockton did in Game 2.
Interesting, though, how Jerry Sloan told us today they are not going to run anything special for Hornacek. He will just have to get it out of the flow.
O'Neal, offensive foul, as he rammed right into Greg Foster. So Shaquille O'Neal picking up an early foul, to the consternation of head coach Del Harris.
Now you're going to see he puts the shoulder right into the chest of Foster. Foster definitely there, and by a few feet before the box area was even into location.
Little more than a minute and a half gone by. Teams feeling each other out here in game number 3. Lakers confident that they can get back into the series.
Oh,
and now Stockton gets knocked down again by Derek Fisher, and he'll be called for the foul.
Now that's the second time that Stockton has been laid out with a forearm. Now I know Fisher's all upset because Fisher's saying, hey, I'm moving my feet. I had good position. Keep an eye. Well, we're a little late on that one, but believe us when they say that he did catch him with a forearm and put him down.
Low to Malone, knocked out of bounds, and the Jazz turn it over for the second time. In the opening moments, Del Harris, and you know, since they played Game 2 on Monday, the fans have been echoing their thoughts about how bad the Lakers have been. Now, this is a team that won 61 games this year and are still very much in this thing.
Well, they're doing some good things. They're shooting 40 foul shots. They're getting 15 offensive boards. So, you know, everything isn't a disaster here. All they have to do is win these 2 games, even the series.
Robert Horry is fouled by Karl Malone. So Stockton and Malone pick up early fouls for the Jazz.
Well, Horry definitely is limping. You can see it's on his right side. Now just keep an eye on the crossover right there. He catches Malone. He's not quick of foot. And as Horry went down, he came up with the limp.
Suffered the bruised right hip in the second quarter. Did not practice 2 days ago. Did work out yesterday. Said he's ready to go, but he's been hobbling, no question. Here is Shaq. Great move inside, as a great spin move, and O'Neal, who is very big and large and wide, showed his quickness.
Well, anytime that he drops that shoulder and gets a shoulder ahead of you, it's over because of his size.
Here is Foster missing from the corner, getting a little giddy after hitting that opening shot that bounced high off the rim. And so the Lakers leading 6-2 in the opening going. Rick Fox shooting over Brian Russell, hits, and that's a 3 for Rick Fox. And he has been the glue that has held this team together.
He's been consistent, yes. No doubt about it. And he's shooting 46% in threes. Now he's 7 for 12 right now, consistent in both games.
And Rick Fox causes the turnover as He knocks the pass away. A 3-on-3 now for the Lakers. Rick Fox not only leads them in threes, but he leads them in assists. You expect that from a guard. And there is Derek Fisher with the long rebound, corralled by Foster. So 3.5 minutes have gone by, and the Lakers looking good off the start, 9-2. Here is Malone posting up against the hobbled Ori.
Well, they ran a split that time. The Lakers defense it perfectly.
They go back in there to Carl, double teamed by Fox. Ryan Russell has all night to shoot, and he hits the three. Ryan Russell, and now that narrows it to 9-5.
Yeah, that's all you're waiting for at Karl Malone. Karl Malone has patience. He accepted the trap. He looked over the top of it, found the free man with the diagonal pass. Karl averaging 4 assists a game in this playoff.
And Fox induces Brian Russell to run into him, and Rick Fox doing it all at both ends in the early going.
Now keep an eye on Shaq as he comes to the middle, and then as he drops the shoulder, watch as he goes baseline. See, it's over now. Anytime a big man catches you on his back, if you're going to try to put a shot block, you give him a potential 3 with the foul.
Jazz with 3 team fouls already, and Eddie Jones gets a good look. Ori knocks into the hands of O'Neal, but it winds up Utah ball. 9-5, the Lakers leading in the first quarter in game 3. John Stockton and Fisher jumps on top of him like it's a football game and ties him up effectively.
Wow, these are two excellent competitors. An old veteran of 14 years in John Stockton. Derek Fisher, a low first-round draft pick in his second year. He has quick hands and quick feet, and you could see he's determined tonight to go nose-to-nose with Stockton.
Some thought that Nick Van Exel might get a chance to start again, but Del Harris wasn't about to change his lineup. Van Exel asking to come off the bench ever since he came back from knee surgery in February, and it's worked with Derek Fisher. And there is Nick Van Exel, a lot expected from him.
Well, you know, Dick, he's also struggling. He's getting 11 shots a game, but he's only shooting 24%. So you stick with Derek Fisher, bring Nick in with the next group, and then also a lot of people are saying that he's wobbling with the knee.
Here is Stockton being shadowed now by Eddie Jones, and Karl Malone misses from the perimeter. Utah Jazz settling for outside shots. They're not working the ball in at all in the early going. And now Ori posting up against Malone already has 1 foul. And here's a great feed and a block by Foster. Greg Foster with an impressive block, and here is Stockton. Did not control it, and Malone filling the gap scores, and the Laker lead is down to 2.
Very slow in his staff. You got to be happy. You're down 2. You've taken the initial shot, the energy shot. Almost 6 minutes gone by, and you're right here.
This is a cool team that doesn't get excited even in adversity. Robert Ori follows up his own miss, and the Lakers up by 4.
Remember, the Lakers are averaging 15 offensive boards in the series. They're shooting only 36%, but they're banging the glass and they're doing a good job. That time, they took that for granted. They thought that was an easy make.
The mailman hitting from outside. He has 4 points, and Jerry Sloan explaining to us today that the inside shots aren't there from Malone, so he's hitting more from the perimeter.
Well, 19 of his 23 field goals have been from the perimeter, which is totally out of context for his game.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. 10 seconds for the Lakers. Nearly halfway through this opening quarter. Here is Shaq. Gets a good feed from Fox. And this time, defended well by Foster.
He did. Good pressure. And that was a nice jump stop by the big fella.
And they're going to call. Boy, Stockton has hit the floor at the canvas more often than a lot of fighters do in the ring. And the foul called against Derek Fisher. That'll be his second. So we'll be seeing Nick Van Exel pretty soon.
To the baseline. You're going to see the body, a nice block out, stay low, keep them. Now, as Eddie Jones comes in, now you got a shot blocker because Foster is a legit 6'11", 7 foot, good shot blocker. You can see hometown in Oakland, California. He was a 2nd-round draft pick by Washington. He's been on 6 teams in 7 years, but he has found a home because he can hit that 18 to 20-foot jump shot for Utah.
And one of the more emotional players on this Jazz team, Howard Isley, has come in at point guard, replacing John Stockton. Good thing we don't have a 3 knockdown rule. Stockton might be forced to give up the fight the way he was manhandled in the opening moment. And Nick Van Exel, as anticipated, has come in the game at point guard. Corey Blunt, who's been the top rebounder for the Lakers, has also come in. Given the outside shot by Malone wisely, and misses. And finally, the Jazz come up with it and a chance to tie the game. They were down by as many as 7 moments ago. Malone is guarded by Blount. And the turnaround by Malone is missed. And here comes Van Exel up. Nick Van Exel, as UB pointed out, struggling as all the perimeter and point guard shooters have for the Lakers. And O'Neal with another inside spin move, but Karl Malone played him a little tougher. And let's see who the foul is on. And it's going to be on Foster. Greg Foster picking up his first personal.
Well, in the early going, Dick, in Utah, they are definitely not doubling strong. They're staying with the perimeter people. Now, Shaq just misses this one. And unfortunately, Karl Malone came up over the top of Shaq as he tried to keep that rebound alive.
Shaquille O'Neal shooting 42% from the free throw line, and he has been defended by the three-headed monster.
Yeah, and they're doing an excellent job. 15 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and then O'Neal is only getting 25. Jerry Sloan says just stay between him and the basket, and then we hope that the rest of the guys can take care of the board. Sounds simple, but when you're blocking out a guy 300 with very little body fat, it becomes a chore.
And they've got a lot of fouls to give as well, and we'll see Carr and Ostertag come in. 1 out of 2 from the line for Shaquille O'Neal, and Hornacek still struggling as his layup, and it was an open layup, falls off the rim. The Lakers by 3.
That was a beautiful head fake, and it's a shame that he missed that.
Now there is Shaq losing the ball. Memories of game number 1 when he turned it over 6 times.
Well, in games 1 and 2, Campbell and Shaq are averaging 6.5 turnovers a game, and that's been big in games 1 and 2.
Hornacek gets a screen and he hits. So Jeff Hornacek, who had 8 of his 11 points in the second half of game 2, but largely has been struggling from the field, makes it a 1-point LA lead. Shaq down low against Foster. Tipped out, and Foster trying to beat Fox to the ball. Howard Isley is going to wind up with it. Foster left open. He'll never be more open than that as Blount gets the rebound. Van Exel for 3 and hits. And that could be the start of a turnaround for Nick Van Exel, the second 3 tonight by the Lakers.
Nick Van Exel coming into this game 1 for 9 in threes. So you know he attempts 5 a game throughout the year. He's not a bashful guy. He can be 1 for 20. He's taking the next one when it's there.
Last thing you can call him is shy. Lakers shooting 35%, yet winning by 4, so they've got to like those numbers. Here's Brian Russell, and Brian Russell hits his second 3-point basket, and the Laker lead again down to 1.
Yeah, that was excellent ball movement. Good defense by the Lakers, but excellent ball movement by the Jazz.
Van Exel had it, lost it, and finally the Jazz committing a foul, and that'll be their 15th foul, the first on Hornacek. And the Lakers will be shooting with
Isley is here, and as he starts his drive, Malone's man leaves him to cut off. Fox will rotate up and pick up Karl Malone. Defensive players. Now watch to the right as Foster screens Shaq so he cannot come out on the rotating man into that open spot for the uncontested shot. Beautiful teamwork.
Yeah, and Karl Malone already with 3 assists in the game. And there you're looking at the rebounding story. The Lakers 5-0 edge on second shots. Eldon Campbell has come into the game replacing Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal having scored 5 points, and Campbell has to get his act in order because Del Harris said he has to get more involved in the game. He hasn't yet in the series.
Yeah, but you know, Dick, you need minutes to do that. He's only getting 10 minutes a game, and then during the course of the season, the man got 26 minutes. He had a chance to display his talents, getting 10 points a game, 7 rebounds. Well, when you cut him down to 10 minutes, it's very difficult to get in a group. They're using Corey Blunt as a backup at that power forward position. Can't fault him. He's getting 10 rebounds a game.
Jeff Hornacek with a 3. And we're having a flurry of 3s in the early going, and the Jazz leading for the first time tonight, 17-16, as Shaq went out. Greg Ostertag came in the game for Foster, and a 4th shot that time by Eddie Jones. Under 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and the Jazz with their first lead of the game by 1. They were down by as many as 7.
Now they're going to bring Malone into the post-up area.
And Corey Blount, and now a tangle as Van Exel and Brian Russell got tangled up, and Nick Van Exel called for the foul.
Now you see right there on that cut through right there, that was good, smart basketball. As soon as Russell saw that Van Exel was matched up on him, he was going to run him down into the post-up area, preferred to post him up right in front of the rim. And you know Malone will give up the ball.
Kobe Bryant, who is shooting just 29%, yet is the second leading scorer in the series, has come into the game for the first time for the Lakers. And Ostertag travels and turns it over.
No doubt about that. That was a solid call. He gave the old bunny hop in there.
Which is a good dance, the ballroom dance on the Sunday afternoons, but not tonight.
Well, all they need from Ostertag is good rebounding and clog up the middle of that lane with some intimidation.
Campbell setting a screen for Van Exel. Ori had the offensive rebound, but it's taken away by Isley. The Jazz still leading by 1 with under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Utah Jazz trying to win on the road and make it all but impossible for the Lakers to come back and win this series. Karl Malone guarded by Kobe Bryant on a mismatch, but forced the shot. And Jones the rebound.
Dick, he forced the shot. You're right on the money. And I was surprised he didn't rotate the ball because they had a 2-on-1 on the right side of the floor.
Let's see if the Lakers show some patience here. They're shooting only 30% from the field. Jones can't get around Ostertag with 5 on the shot clock. Bryant scores. Kobe Bryant with his first points of the game.
Well, we said early, he's getting 12 shots a game. He's only shooting 29%, but he's getting to the foul line for 8 opportunities a game, and that's where he's picking up the points.
Only 19 years old, but he gives the Lakers instant energy coming off the bench, and on that time he fell asleep defensively, and Brian Russell got the easy layup.
Yeah, they caught him that time on a double screen on the left side of the floor. Russell went right on the baseline.
Isley staying with Van Exel, and there is Bryant. Kobe Bryant finds a wide open Eddie Jones in the corner, and Jones misses, and Eldon Campbell with a third effort, and he has come out prime tonight apparently. 6 offensive boards by the Lakers, who regain the lead by 1.
Where have you been, big fella?
That's what Del Harris is saying, and of course he says, I like what you're doing now.
Hey, when Shaq missed 22 games, Elton filled in and got 18 points and 10 rebounds and 2 shot blocks. The guy, you give him the time, he can put up numbers.
And Ostertag stuffs it through on a fine feed after the penetration by Isley. So the Jazz lead again, final seconds of the first quarter, and going up is Van Exel, and time runs out. Brian Russell with 8 points, including 2 from beyond the arc, is the spark for the Utah Jazz, and they'll take it after 1 here in Game 3.
But you have to remember now, big guys need time. They got to get a chance to get going, and then especially when a guy can score.
And Rick Fox can score. Rick Fox with the basket. That is his second 3, and it gives the Lakers a 23-21 lead. Shandon Anderson in his second year has come in the game, and Brian Russell. You look at an older team, the Lakers, but Anderson and Russell give him a lot of young legs.
Well, you see what they're doing right now. The Lakers are trapping in the backcourt with a big man. The Utah Jazz are setting a back screen, and once you blow by, you have the advantage at the other end.
Eldon Campbell is fouled going up. Brian Russell trying to defend him inside, and Antoine Carr, the other big man, 3 of them in all, defending against Shaquille O'Neal, has come in the game. Carr in, and Shaq also coming back in.
Now, give you an idea here right now. Coming off DC, Kobe Bryant, you got the 2-man game going, and then once you step inside here right now, then you go take it strong. You know you have a quality guy here who can score points because he's got a lot of offensive moves. The problem is that he's just an average foul shooter. Now, at the end of the first quarter, Utah shot 53%, the Lakers 33%. Utah 3 for 3 in threes, but they're getting whipped on their defensive board. The Lakers with 6 offensive boards, a major factor here, and then Utah Jazz with 4 turnovers.
And the Lakers on the line, only 63% coming into the game, are 3 of 6 from the free throw line. There you see the Utah Jazz yet to attempt their first free throw.
The reason why that's a big point, Dick, is when you get 40 attempts a game, you got to make them.
Howard Isley off the screen, and you're right, and right now they're not showing much improvement. So the Lakers trailing by one once again with the big team in there with Eldon Campbell as well as Shaquille O'Neal, Fox, Van Exel, and Kobe Bryant. And O'Neal gets past the gambling Anderson. So Shaq has 7 to lead the Lakers. Brian Russell with 10 tops the Jazz.
Now that was just a very nice baseline screen as the guard sacrificed his body.
Isley leaves it for Carr, and a foul is called, a shoving foul.
Now, the last 2 possessions, the Utah Jazz ran a screen and roll, and as they came off the screen into the middle of the floor, Isley, the defender, never came up. Isley shoots the J in your face. Now, on this play right here, they chased the screen man, the dribbler on the screen and roll to the baseline. So they're mixing it up as the game has gone. Now, this time they're following over the top. Well, you got to give them help.
Kobe Bryant committed that last foul, and Bryant right now all over Chris Morris is in the game for the first time. Offensive rebound, and there's Morris, and he misses an easy layup, though it was a left-handed layup. He should have had it. Jazz had a second chance and couldn't convert. Fox leaves it for Kobe Bryant. Van Exel for 3. And this is the athleticism that the Lakers employ, not always to their best benefit. And Isley tries to get the pass inside, and a kick ball and a new 24-second clock.
Isley needed a gun to get that pass through. And you can see right here now, Osatig. Now just keep an eye on the big fella here right now. He gives it off unselfishly, and Morris sent it up weak. You have to send those babies down strong.
You know, it's amazing with the Lakers being outshot as bad as they are to be, you know, in the game only up by 1 point. They've got to like what they see. And there is Chris Morris, and it's a 3 for Morris. Morris has made some big contributions in the playoffs. Utah has not missed from beyond the arc. They are 4 for 4 from threes. Bryant with a great crossover dribble against Anderson, but Antoine Carr with the block shot. A 3-on-2 break, and Morris draws the foul.
Anytime that Utah's out in the open floor, the second unit had 53 points off the bench in game 2 out of 99.
Wow.
Once again goes to the baseline. They rotate down and cut him off. Now watch as Kobe Bryant comes up to Antoine Carr. Now when that happens, over here you have 3 offensive players against 2 defenders. So once the ball is rotated, this is the second 3 that they have knocked down in this right-hand corner. Now you got to give the Jazz credit. You see they're maximizing the ball movement, and they're catching the Lakers not making the next rotation. Out of traps, always past 2 passes, not 1.
Good ball movement, and Howard Isley, who's been the point guard, has played 9 minutes, and in that span the Jazz have outscored the Lakers by 4 in that stretch, as John Stockton getting a long rest on the bench and remains there. So on the free throw line is Chris Morris, who had his playoff high of 10 points in game 1, and he was 2 for 2 from 3-point range and played a big role in the 4th quarter run in game 2.
Yeah, in game 2, Dickey came in and gave him a quick 5 points along with 4 rebounds. So we know that Morris, when he was at New Jersey for 6 years, averaged 14 points a game. He's a great athlete. His problem has been fitting in to this type of a system, which is very structured, and they do not allow you to freelance.
Both teams have gone deep into their bench. Both teams have very good benches. Fox, and that would have counted had it gone. So Rick Fox, who's on the court with Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, and Robert Horry will go to the line. Isley with his first foul.
Now, as we're talking about Chris Morris, you can see when that happened, a ball fake on a 3, and the defender tries to block the shot. That's the worst thing that you can do. Fortunately, Fox steps under, because if he would have taken the hit, he would have been shooting 3 foul shots. Then as he gets inside, he breaks the defense down. And you could see the coaching staff over there at Utah cringing on that move.
Here's Fox with the offensive rebound opportunity, and Rick Fox now with 9 points. So Fox has 9, O'Neal 7 to lead the Lakers. Russell 10 tops the Utah Jazz. Interesting that after the whining about the officiating, the players have been very calm and have not said anything to the officials to this point. Carr posting up against Shaq. 7 on the shot clock, hook shot and air ball. And the Lakers with the ball, trying to regain the lead. Jazz by 1. Isley out to meet Van Exel. Good position underneath for O'Neal. And they're going to call the foul before the shot, and it will be on Ostertag.
Yeah, they'll allow you to put that forearm in the back of the player, but you cannot lift the forearm. And that's what they're calling here, right there. See, they're calling that he's pushing up on Shaq.
And of course, Shaq, who took a shot at Ostertag in the shoot-around before Game 1, did not play in the opener this year when these teams tangled. And then the Shaq, of course, was out 22 games. There he is, triple team, but good ball movement. And they're going to call the 3-second violation against the Lakers, a turnover.
Well, you know, you always tell guys, be ready for the pass so you can get the shot. You know, right here, you're going to see Van Exel get down in here and screen the big man, Ostertag. Now, you know, when these big guys at 7 foot turn around and catch you with an elbow, Dick, that hurts.
Jazz with a 1-point lead, and they have outshot the Lakers to a fairly well thus far. With nearly 4 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Morris firing away with Ori in his face. Gets the rebound. Here is Ostertag, and it's deflected away. And now a foul is called against the Lakers. The Jazz doing a terrific job getting second shots.
Well, the big thing with the Jazz, Dick, in their offensive sets, when they're on the roll, they continue to go back to the same plays until you defense them. Now, they've been working that drive on the side, coming back high, and then catching the Lakers in rotation. Antoine Carr, instead of passing it, did a diagonal to that corner, and the shot was there.
Nick Van Exel picking up his second personal foul, and Greg Ostertag making his first free throw attempt of this series. So Van Exel has 2 fouls. Brian Russell has 2 fouls for the Jazz, and he is on the bench right now. So here's who's out there. Ori up front with O'Neal and Fox. Van Exel at guard, and Eddie Jones.
Always remember, during the year, the Jazz were the #1 foul shooting team in this league at 77%.
They go to Shaq, and an offensive foul call as Ostertag held his ground, and Shaquille O'Neal now has 2 fouls.
All 3 referees had that. Now, it's amazing. They all blew the whistle at the same time. Now, just watch this. There it is right there. He knocked Ostertag back with that left arm.
Well, we heard elbows being emanated from Shaq after game #1. A lot of talking going on, and a great feed. Anderson has it knocked away, and they're going to call an offensive foul against Shandon Anderson.
Anderson posted up. The Lakers fronted. They went for the lob pass, and you always tell guys, you do not need to push off. You're going to catch the ball and have a layup.
Jazz up by 3.
Pretty.
Shaq lost it, did not have control of it.
3 and 2.
O'Neal has turned it over 4 times already, and Chris Morris with the drive. So Morris has 7 off the bench, so 13 points for the Jazz of their 34. Their biggest lead right now of 5. Van Exel. Anderson guarding Jones. 7 on the shot clock. And Shaq gets another chance. And you know he's going to want the foul. A long look. O'Neal 3 of 8.
See, you can't get the foul if you're inside the box, so that's why it was that. No problem.
And a feed inside. Antoine Carr barely saves it from going out of bounds. Ori not going to let him get the shot off. 6 on the shot clock, though. Carr with a fall away and hits. He's stuck with it. Good perseverance by Antoine Carr in his 14th year from Wichita State.
See, this is where the Jazz catch you. When they're out in the open floor 3-on-2, they have guys who can finish. They have great quickness and excellent finishers.
7 points, 3 for 8 shooting, but 4 turnovers by Shaquille O'Neal. Derek Fisher has come back in the game at point guard for the Lakers. Lakers had a 9-2 lead early, but the Jazz, shooting 54%, have outscored them by 14 points. So a 7-point lead now for the Jazz, and Shaq, they got to go to the right guy. He now has 9.
Yeah, he's overpowering. The shots are there for him. He has just missed some very easy ones tonight. But as this game goes along, you're hoping that he's at home and he's going to shoot a higher percentage.
Still 10 on the shot clock for the Jazz, who are leading by 5. Here is Howard Eisley with a runner a la Mark Jackson, and hits. Eisley still in the game after Stockton. And there is Shaquille O'Neal, who's fouled, as several Jazz bouncing off of him. What strength and speed.
First of all, it's a great pass. The defender gambled and almost got it. Now watch Chris Morris hit him right in the back.
I don't even think he felt it.
Yeah, well, you know what happened? He semi-tripped.
And the line drive free throw is missed, and Morris getting the rebound. But it's interesting that Howard Eisley has really been the key man running the show for the Utah Jazz. John Stockton knocked to the floor early on 3 occasions, has been on the bench a long time, and a very pretty reverse layup by Shandon Anderson.
Now, Shandon Anderson is doing a great job backing up Jeff Hornacek, and he's also the leading rebounder at 7.5 a game.
Eddie Jones misses from the perimeter, and a loose ball foul called against the Jazz, and that will be against Antoine Carr, his first. So that off-guard position, so critical for the Utah Jazz, Hubie.
Now coming in, Hornacek struggling, only shooting 20%. Now remember, he's your second leading scorer, but he's only taking 5 a game. Anderson is coming in with playing half the game, giving you 50% shooting, 9 points and 7 rebounds, and he's leading in offensive rebounding with 4 a game. You have to pay attention to him. He's 6'6". He's a good post-up player, but he's a garbage man. He's constantly moving at the offensive end of the floor.
In his second year and getting an opportunity to play in critical times, as John Stockton, who sat for 13 minutes, is back in the game. The Lakers, meanwhile, continue to struggle from the free throw line. Only 5 of 11 and trailing by 6.
See, they're posting up Anderson on Eddie Jones. Now the back screen.
Stockton gets it into Ostertag. Here's Morris wide open. Will go for the 3 and hit. Chris Morris, who is a little disgruntled, had a chance to start for a while when he came over from the Nets, but he has 10 off the bench, and the Jazz lead by 9. Biggest lead either team has had in this game.
Now they caught the Lakers in a double team that time, Dick, and their ball movement tonight and spacing is outstanding.
Now Ostertag bumping Shaq, and that'll be 2 on Ostertag. The Jazz are in the penalty, and the Lakers will shoot. There is Jerry Sloan trying to get to the NBA Finals for the 2nd straight year. Lost to the Bulls in 6 last year, but remember, if the Jazz survive this series, they'll have the home court advantage in the next round.
Well, remember last year, the Jazz played Chicago as well as anyone, if not better. They lost by 2, and by 4. So you know that they gave them a great battle. And I know they knocked them out in 6, but still in all, they were in every game except 1.
And they swept them in the regular season this year. Horry coming out to stop Stockton. Anderson. Here's Karl Malone. The ball knocked away. Malone has scored only 4 points tonight, and he calls a 20-second timeout for the Jazz. A quiet Karl Malone at the outset has only 4 points on 3 for 6 shooting.
Now he just jammed his left hand, and you can see he's gone right over. He called a 20-second. He's talking to the trainer.
That is not a hand that the Jazz want jammed at this point.
Big thing right now is Karl's doing an excellent job in the post, accepting the double teams, coming out of there and picking the right man to make the pass to, who then is not forcing any shots, but rotating the ball with another pass to a free man. Their spacing and ball movement and unselfishness, terrific.
And Hubie, the stars of the future will take center stage next month as Turner Sports presents the 1998 NBA Draft live from Vancouver, British Columbia. Hubie, of course, will be there, as he always is. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, June 24th, right here on TNT.
Keep an eye on Carl on his catch. See, as he took it back, now whatever happened, you can see he called the timeout right away. It's in that left hand.
John Stockton got it off just in the nick of time and gets the basket. And a 10-point lead for the Utah Jazz. They were down early, but have their biggest lead of 10 now. First double-digit lead in the game. Fisher quickly going to Shaq. Trying to beat the double team by getting it to the perimeter. Fisher has it blocked by Ostertag, and it comes down for the Jazz.
Oh, look up now. They have an advantage here.
And here is Antoine Carr. Feeds Morris. Morris is hitting from all over. Not that time. Shaq with a quick outlet to Fox. Up-tempo game by both teams. Fisher with a great feed to Jones, and Ostertag with another block. 2 in a row by Ostertag.
I tell you, Ostertag is doing a terrific job once again here tonight from the defensive end.
And the Jazz with 8 block shots in all. Really snuffing out the Lakers inside. 7 on the shot clock. And there is Shandon Anderson checking for the 3. And it's last touched by O'Neal inadvertently. So the Jazz will get the ball back.
Now keep an eye now. Now just watch this. This is a beautiful drop off. And then look at Ostertag. He came running right down the middle of the floor to give them help because that was a 3-on-2.
And Karl Malone apparently all right with that jammed wrist back in the lineup. He still has 4 points. And Jeff Hornacek is also in the game for Utah. Here is Malone. Fox the rebound. The Lakers trailing by 10. Near 3 minutes to go in the first half. And the ball knocked away, last touched by Utah.
The fans here are stunned.
Check that by the Lakers.
They're absolutely stunned because the Lakers are coming down on fast breaks. They're missing shots. They're turning the ball over. They're getting shot blocked. And the people just can't accept it because they're in here tonight and they just cannot accept going down 3-0-3.
No, and the Lakers counting on the crowd to give them some support, but it's a sort of a quiet crowd, and a steal by Jones and a loose ball foul called against Hornacek. Timeout with 2:52 remaining.
He's got at least 3. They have 8 already in this first half. So the defense has been outstanding. And when you're on the road, maybe that's what you're looking for from your club.
The lead is 8. And now the Lakers have to play some defense. As Malone trying to post up against Robert Horry. And Stockton misses the shot. Fisher a little late getting over there. And O'Neal gets the rebound. Shaq with 12 leading the Lakers. And Russell and Morris each with 10 for the Jazz. So Derek Fisher, the point guard, guarded by John Stockton. Shaq trying to get inside against Ostertag, and that ball's going to drop for him. 14 points for O'Neal. 9 here in the second quarter.
But I tell you, he's working hard. Ostertag is staying between Shaq and the basket. He's forcing him to go up over the top of him, and he's challenging the shot.
And that's what the Jazz want to do. They want Shaq to work hard. So from that standpoint, he's working hard. He's getting points. Ostertag has it knocked away by Eddie Jones, last touched by the Lakers.
See, Ostertag has got to be able to score because they're hitting him down inside. Now just watch. Eddie looked to post up. He gave it away. Now watch this. He just threw him out of the way. Now maybe it was a little bit of a flop, but not only that, he recovered and still challenged Shaq's jump hook.
Ostertag, who has been the leader of the band as far as the blocks with 3, is replaced by Antoine Carr. Stripped away by Fisher. Great play by Fisher, and then John Stockton anticipates Shaq's pass. And an offensive foul as Fisher is knocked down, and John Stockton doesn't quite believe it. But that's what happens when you're on the road.
He puts the left hand out there, no doubt about it. Now here you have the strip. It's a great save by Fisher. And remember, in the NBA, you can fall down on the floor. It's not a travel. Stockton, okay, he recovers right now, makes a great steal. But now watch the left hand. He's going to put the left hand in right there. You say, oh, that was a flop. Well, it was a good flop.
Yeah, you feel an elbow in your belly, you're going to flop. Here's Fisher trying to penetrate. Derek Fisher, very steady player in his second year from Arkansas Little Rock. And here is Malone at the other end. And Hornacek is fouled going in. The Jazz not wasting any time trying to beat the Lakers down the other end.
Well, you know, when you're matched up with Karl Malone, that's always in their repertoire. As soon as you score, they get it in quick. They look down the floor. Now, Karl, he saw that he could not make that catch and get an angle to the basket. And I want to tell you, that was a very heady pass to Hornacek cutting down the lane.
Derek Fisher picking up his third personal foul. Remains on the floor. Jeff Hornacek with the free throw. He is perfect in this series, 8 for 8 from the line. But Fisher has 3, and he remains in the game.
Well, during the course of the year, Jeff was second in the league on the foul line, shooting 89%.
So this is nothing new. And he makes them both. And the Jazz lead by 6, 47-41. Clock running with 1:15 remaining in the half. Kobe Bryant guarded by Brian Russell. Russell has 2 fouls, and Bryant taking him inside. And Russell may have picked up 3. He has.
Yeah, and he's upset because he had him pinned behind the board. But as Kobe gets the call here now. Now just watch it. See, he's got him behind the board, and as he comes up, he doesn't have anything. But as he steps back in, he gets the call. Now Russell's upset because he thought that he had that cut off.
So the Lakers immediately go to the vulnerable Jazz player with the 2 fouls as Bryant misses the first free throw. Well, coming up on the Nike halftime report, Magic Johnson. A forum and a playoff game wouldn't be the same if you didn't have Ernest Magic Johnson. Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson will join us live here at the forum, analyzing the first half of our game and the future of the Lakers.
You know, Dick, the Lakers are shooting 40 foul shot attempts in games 1 and 2. Only 62%. Everybody thinks it's Shaq at 42%. They have 5 guys shooting in the 50s and low 60s. So it's not only Shaq.
Under a minute to go, and the steal by Eddie Jones. He finds Kobe Bryant, and Bryant with a travels as he tries a wild reverse layup. But that's the maturity end, and he's 19 years old, and he's got a world of moves. But this is the playoffs at another level against a very steady Utah Jazz team.
See, and during the course of the year, you might get a call there. You might get a call. Oh,
offensive foul the other way.
Yeah, Antoine Carr.
And for Carr, that'll be his second.
Yeah, you always tell guys when you set the screen, just hold the screen and let the dribbler maneuver his man off of you. You don't need to step out and nail a guy.
You know, Hubie said Lakers have gone to the line 40 times. You know, they've been there 17 already in this game, so they're staying on par.
Right. I like this. See, you got to let Eddie Jones post up Stockton.
And the offensive foul as Stockton goes down, and Eddie Jones called for his first.
I'll tell you what, Danny Crawford just gave it. You're absolutely right. Watch the left arm come right back and nail Stockton right there. And Danny Crawford had that one all the way. He was right on it.
Under a half a minute remaining and 18 on the shot clock for the Utah Jazz. Are up by 5. Lakers were down by 10, but they've come back a bit. And Hornacek looking for the foul will get it, but not the basket. Right now, let's check in with Reggie Theus, who tonight is the 4th member of our team. Reggie.
Oh, we got guys all over the building, Dick. But right now, what amazes me most, that not that the Lakers are down, but the fact that in and out of the huddle with the Lakers, there I see no emotion. There's been a lot of talk about their motion and the way they feel about this game, but a lot of talk and no action out on the floor. I am amazed that the guys are actually listening with intent in the huddle. Nobody's saying a word. And out on the floor, they're missing assignments in the rotations, and Dell has been all over them the whole game. Nobody said a word. It's quiet.
Thank you.
So are the fans, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, we pointed that out, and Reggie, thanks for that observation. You may be number 4, but you're batting cleanup in our book tonight.
I'll tell you, he's definitely the best dressed.
Always is. Jeff Hornacek and the Jazz perfect from the free throw line. Lakers have missed 8 from the line, so again they're going to the stripe but not taking advantage of it. The Jazz lead by 7 as we play for the last shot of the first half. Laker crowd not in it, and to an extent the players, according to Reggie, maybe not in it either. Bryant working against Hornacek with a crossover and a pushing foul with 3.8 on the clock.
I tell you, they were bailed out on that call right there because Kobe Bryant committed himself to the pass, and Utah Jazz definitely rotated right into the steal that time, but they catch a bump on the hip.
Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Jazz winning the 2 at home. Lakers very confident coming in. but they have not been shooting well. The Jazz have been shooting well on the road. What surprises you thus far in this one?
Well, first of all, the defense has been consistent. The fact that they're holding their own on the boards and that they're getting to the foul line on the road. Everything is working well for Utah. And then the icing on the cake, the three-point shots and the shot blocking.
Shaq will go out, not risking picking up any fouls in the last 3.8. Eldon Campbell replaces him, but Shaquille O'Neal with 14 points, the game-high scorer, along with 7 rebounds. Kobe Bryant, 1 free throw.
Plenty of time here.
6-point lead. 3.8 is an eternity.
Yeah, now this is a set play here now.
And now the Lakers will get it under their own basket.
That's right. See what happened when you throw the ball into the floor like that, that's called home run. What they did is they put a forearm right in Foster's back, and Foster could not turn to go get the ball. Now this is good. See, they defense him perfectly. Campbell did an excellent job. He froze him out there and did not allow him to go back into the lane for the. Now here comes Campbell.
Rick
for Eddie
Fox
Jones.
will inbound, and time running out, and Eddie Jones firing over. Isley misses as the horn sounds. Chris Morris with 10 off the bench. The Utah Jazz getting great mileage from their bench throughout the season and again in the playoffs. And at the end of the first half,
in the locker room, Del Harris very concerned about the emotional stat. This second half, like they ended the first half, Utah only getting 6 points. Guys.
All right, thank you very much, Reggie. So Rick Fox along with Eddie Jones, who was 1 for 10 shooting. Here's Shaquille O'Neal with the turnaround, and he hits. O'Neal with 16 points on 7 of 12 from the field and 7 rebounds.
Now that's there. He's been strong, but the rest of these perimeter people have got to step up because they're the ones getting the open shots.
So the same 5 that started the lineup for both teams in there now. Stockton and Hornacek with Malone, Foster, and Brian Russell. 4 on the shot clock, and they bring out Shaq to beat Foster. The turnaround, and they got it off in time. I don't know how Karl Malone did it. Only his 3rd basket of the game.
Dick, he read that quickly, and when he caught that ball, it was going from 3 to 2 seconds.
He and Michael Jordan, the only unanimous first-team NBA picks as the all-NBA teams were announced this week. Eddie Jones missing the runner, and here is John Stockton. Lakers back defensively, but here is Foster looking for a space. Plenty of time on the clock for the Jazz. Very efficient team tonight. And there is the screen and roll run to perfection. Karl Malone.
He slipped the screen that time, and he caught the defense. No one rotated. A beautiful set play.
And this quiets the crowd even more, so this home court advantage is dwindling in a hurry, and a foul is committed.
Yeah, Russell just fought through that screen.
And that's 4 on Brian Russell.
Now watch as Karl comes over to set the screen, and he slips the screen as Sacks that. But, you know, see, when you do that, you're relying on your point guard that he can thread a needle and make the pass.
And one of the great bench performers for the Utah Jazz has come in the game early here in the 3rd. Chris Morris, who had 10 points on 3 for 7 shooting.
Not bad. 10 in game 1, 5 in game 2 when they needed it, 10 again tonight in the first half.
He pointed out at halftime the bench, the big story for the Jazz. And Shaq is fouled by Foster, who is complaining.
Yeah, well, he's upset because he thought that he had his hands up. But Bob Delaney is claiming that he put his hands in his back first, and then he put his hands up. So they're not going to allow you to put the hand. Put the forearm. You're stronger with the forearm anyway. 3
fouls on Foster, but that's not a big issue with Carr and Ostertag also there to defend.
Center by committee.
And there is Jones. Eddie Jones, only his 2nd basket of the game. All of the outside shooters have struggled. That's Eddie Jones, Derek Fisher, Nick Van Exel, and Kobe Bryant so far.
They have Eddie Jones on stop.
Off the screen, Hornacek, and Horry gets the rebound. So the Lakers trying to make a run here, trailing by 6 points. They were down by as many as 10. Horry, and the offensive foul as Horry runs into Karl Malone.
Give Karl Malone a lot of credit there. He really moved his feet. And he was on the all-defensive team for the second time, first team. Now watch, Karl moves his feet pretty good here. And you do not have to give him the avenue. Karl beat him to the spot. And you know, Dick, you made a good point before. He made the All-NBA team again. Only the 10th time on the first team.
And unanimous with his fellow MVP competitor, Michael Jordan. John Stockton hits a 3. Russell and Morris hit 2 of them in the first half. And now John Stockton, who had 22 in game 2, finding the range. The Jazz dead-eye from 3-point range. Shaq O'Neal with the basket and the foul. As we said, the Jazz 6 of 8 from 3, and they're going to need O'Neal and help in the second half.
Well, Foster's got to, stop the complaining, okay? You know the guy is a quality player. The guy's the second leading scorer in the league. He's going to get the call in that type of a situation. Now, I know you're going to say, I don't have to accept that. He jumped into my chest. That's part of the NBA.
Crowd doesn't like Foster for a lot of reasons. Of course, he had that throat-cutting move, which even Jerry Sloan wasn't pleased with when he used it during the regular season. And Shaquille O'Neal trying to complete the three-point play, but cannot do it. So the woes continue for the Lakers from the stripe, and the score 56-49, Jazz by 7.
Well, now on the foul line, they are 10 for 20. They have missed 10.
And 4 of those misses from Shaquille O'Neal. You know, they'll foul him when they can. Screen and roll. Malone uses his body well, and Karl Malone now with 6 in the third quarter, 10 for the game.
Beautiful catch, beautiful jump hook.
Shaq gets it inside, and the shot over. Ostertag doesn't work. He had good position.
Yes, he did, and he had a oh, what a pass!
And Morris gets it back, and a 20 called by the Jazz. And let's see, it looked, yes, Chris Morris lost his right shoe.
Now this is just a great pass by John Stockton. Now keep an eye on this. Now just watch right between the 2 players. He lays it in there, and a terrific catch by Morris. And unfortunately, as he went up, you could see he got hit on that left hand as he tried to get it back up and in off the glass. Now once they make the move here, Karl makes the catch and the jump hook. You've got to have a lot of moves when you're big like him and you play with your back to the basket, and then he really breaks it on you when he takes you outside. And in this series coming into tonight, 19 of his 23 field goals were jump shots.
Karl Malone said he thought he would have a chance for MVP this year. He won it last year, but he said in the second half there was no hype, and kind of got the feeling that it wasn't going to be his year that way. But what he wants, and what all these players who have been around a long time want, they want the ring, and this has got to be the Jazz best opportunity to do it. They'll have home court advantage if they get by the Lakers. Against the Bulls, if Chicago beats Indiana, that series 2-0 Bulls as the series shifts to Market Square Arena. A little more than 4.5 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Stockton, and once again the Jazz get the loose ball. Malone with a turnaround. Derek Fisher has a 4-on-3 chance for the Lakers, and Fisher takes it himself. Nice play by the point guard.
Yeah, he has a real talent of scoring as he gets into the painted area. He's left-handed, and he plays the board extremely well.
Lead is 7 for the Jazz. They've maintained the advantage since the early going when the Lakers were up by 9-2. And Malone looking for the foul, doesn't get it as he misses the shot. Lakers trying to make a run. Horry fouled, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, they catch him on that rotation down in there. That was an excellent, excellent stretch on that shot. And this is just a beautiful move right there. Ostertag almost got the block, and he came from the top of the circle.
Meanwhile, John Stockton with the personal foul, his third, and Horry on the free throw line. That's 4 team fouls against the Jazz. The Lakers have yet to commit a team foul. With nearly 5 minutes elapsed here in the second quarter. Remember, the Lakers did have an 8-point lead in the third quarter of game 2. But the fourth quarter turned out to be an all-Utah story. There's the foul trouble. Foster and Russell, each with 4 for the Jazz, and now Stockton picking up number 3.
Well, when you look at that small forward position tonight, Dick, at halftime, they had 20 points. When you say Russell and Morris, they're doing a terrific job.
5-point lead. the Utah Jazz trying to make it 3-0 against the Lakers. And they're going to call Horry for the reach-in foul, his second.
Well, they ran the UCLA cut that time. And as they ran the UCLA cut, they really stood John Stockton up. And by that we mean he might have been open, but that defender really laid him out.
I like to see someone try to get John Thompson in that way.
Yeah, here's the UCLA cut again. There's a back screen.
14 on the shot clock. Karl Malone with the baby hook. And the mailman now with 12 points. 8 of them coming here in the third quarter.
Well, the mailman made that happen, Dick. He just pulled his way in to get position.
Rick Fox for 3. Offensive rebound. Eddie Jones, and a pushing foul is called against Jones.
Now keep an eye on Stockton as he passes off and he cuts off Karl Malone on his UCLA cut. All right, he runs right in to Horry that time, and Horry just let him have it. Now just keep an eye on it here now. Now watch it as Stockton goes in. Now he comes back up and he sets a back screen. Now Stockton has a number of options, but you see how deep Malone posted? That's the key.
Malone trying for a second shot after missing the layup, loses it out of bounds, and getting a bit heated now. And Karl Malone, who has picked up a technical foul already in this series, avoids it here. And a timeout is called. 6:47 Jazz points so far in the third quarter. Nick Van Exel in at point guard, replacing Fisher. O'Neal gets another chance on the miss. Ostertag got a piece of that one. And now inside to Shaq, and finally fouled by Ostertag.
Now that was a beautiful pass by Van Exel because Shaq reposted and he pinned Ostertag deep. Now just keep an eye on this now as the ball goes out. Watch Shaq. Shaq is going to back Ostertag right down inside. Nice pump fake and then take it up strong.
Shaquille O'Neal 2 of 6 from the free throw line, makes good on the first. The Lakers have O'Neal, Horry, Van Exel, Jones, and Fox. There is Dale Brown, who is Shaquille O'Neal's coach at LSU. And O'Neal makes them both. And Bill Walton, a big man, came down to Baton Rouge to help in O'Neal's progress as well. But Dale Brown was his official head coach. And a foul away from the ball. Eddie Jones. And Jones may have been hit. No, it's on Van Exel. 3 on Van Exel.
See, Van Exel struggled. He played 11 minutes in the first half. He was 1 for 4. And as we know, he looked for the 1-3. He knocked it down. But unfortunately, he's just not quick enough in the sets to get himself free tonight.
Stockton and Hornacek at guard. Morris, Ostertag, and Malone up front. And they're trying to play a two-man game with Malone and Stockton right now with 9 on the shot clock. Illegal defense called against the Lakers. That's the first. Next will result in a technical free throw.
Yeah, that time Ostertag was above the top of the circle. Shaq O'Neal must be above the foul line. He was below the foul line, almost at the dotted line.
And it looked like the Jazz tried to lure them into the illegal defense with their set.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what they're trying to do because when you play two-man basketball, you're looking for that because you want to keep O'Neal out of there. He is the shot blocker.
Plenty of time on the shot clock, and there is the throw inside to Malone, and Horry holding that time. Very hard to keep Malone corralled, isn't it? 3 on Horry.
Well, just watch him slip the screen. See, he takes the screen before Hornacek came over on the screen and roll. And they've been catching him on that all night long. Anytime that defender tries to cheat and help, they slip the
Corey Blunt's coming in the ball game. He did not see that much action in the first half, only 4 minutes, and Robert Horry going out having 3 personal fouls and has scored 5. And Chris Morris did not have control of that ball and turns it over to the Lakers.
Well, we always say in the NBA, the most dangerous guy on the court is the guy taking the ball out of bounds, and that's what they did. They threw in, and Morris just blew to the basket. Unfortunately, he fumbled the pass.
Well, a chance for the Lakers to make inroads here, and the crowd can sense it. O'Neal slams it through. O'Neal now with 22 points, and the Lakers have coupled in 3. They were down by as many as 10, and 6 at the half. Crowd on its feet, waving the white handkerchiefs. Lakers making a third quarter run. Here's Malone against Corey Blunt in the low post. And the rebound by Blunt. already making an impact since coming off the bench seconds ago. Van Exel fires for three, and Malone gets it. So the Lakers, who live and die by the perimeter shot.
Another foul on Eddie
Stockton
Jones.
and Eddie Jones going at it a bit, and that'll be 3 on Jones.
Accidentally. Eddie fell on him, and that was an accident. Keep an eye on this. As Stockton goes up, John steps in front of him. You see, and you say you can't avoid. Now, I want to tell you something. That is an offensive foul. Okay, you are not allowed to do that to a defender. Okay, and that's what he did. He took the one dribble and stepped right in front of him. The defender has a chance to take a step.
Lakers are over the limit, and John Stockton misses the first free throw.
And just keep an eye on this. This is just power, sheer power, big fella.
1 out of 2 for Stockton. Now the Lakers, not normally a team that plays with patience. Van Exel fired up a 3, but now the Lakers hanging in there down by 4 with under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Fox goes low to Shaq, guarded by Ostertag. Shaq wants it himself, one-handed, ill-advised off the side of the board.
Once again, Ostertag, good body position and the hand up.
Hornacek finds open spaces, and Morris blocked out for the rebound, but it winds up a 3-on-2. Jones for 3, and he's got it. Eddie Jones brings the Lakers to within 1. Timeout, Utah.
Until Eddie Jones got himself in good position for the catch and the three-point attempt.
Howard Isley replaces John Stockton at point guard. He played most of the first half at that position for the Jazz. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third. Lakers trying to win and make a contest out of this and not fall behind 3-0. Karl Malone misses, and here is a rebound by Jones, feeding Van Exel, who's pushed and will shoot 2.
Since Nick has come in the game, they have picked up their pace. And fortunately for him, he's been able to get out in the middle with the basketball. Now this is going to rebound out. Now as it comes out, watch them take off. Van Exel is really busting, and it's nice to see that he's able to step out here.
The Lakers trailed by 7, Hubie, to follow up the point you were making when Nick Van Exel came into the game. And now he has a chance. He hasn't scored a lot, but he has been a spark to give the Lakers the lead again, and he does, 62-61.
Well, you know, he's been only shooting 24% in games 1 and 2, but he's still going to take his shots. He attempted 5 threes in both games, so you know he's an offensive player, and all he needs to do is get on a little bit of a run.
And the Lakers are setting the tempo, playing their style, as you can see by the fast break points. Isley, and that an offensive foul is called.
They got Karl Malone on that screen.
That's 2 on Karl Malone, so he's not in any danger right now. And Corey Blunt has done a good job off the glass and defensively as well. Blunt is in there up front with Shaquille O'Neal and Rick Fox. Jones, who's come alive here, missed the layup, however.
Here you go, 3-on-2.
Isley feeding Hornacek. No-look pass to Ostertag, and that was well run by the Jazz.
Look up. You got to get back now because the Lakers take it out of the net and run a sideline.
3:20 remaining, and Shaquille O'Neal spinning his way in, beating Ostertag to the basket. 24 for Shaq. He had 31 in game 2 after a poor performance. Turnovers and only 19 in game 1. So he has risen the level of his performance.
Well, right now, Karl Malone is struggling, Dick. He just cannot seem to get in any kind of a groove.
There's Isley going around the screen and gets the bounce. Howard Isley with 6 points.
Very quietly tonight. He's making his moves. He's shooting a high percentage, Isley, and he's making good decisions.
And thus the Jazz have a 1-point lead. The Lakers will have 15 seconds to attempt a shot as Antoine Carr comes in replacing Greg Ostertag.
Now, you know, we've seen the Lakers make a nice run, and it's good to see the building is alive, and you can see they're playing with more zip. Now, at the other end, Utah is getting good shot attempts, but they're not putting the ball in the hole.
And Chris Morris with a fine defensive play, and this ball deflected off of Eddie Jones, but Morris created the turnover for the Jazz.
When you gamble in the backcourt, it's a major risk, because if you miss the gamble and they take off, they have numbers up ahead of you going on the fast break.
And a good point about Karl Malone as you look at the shooting in this quarter, already 32 by both teams, but Malone has missed his last 4 shots. Hornacek with a runner, Shaq with a rebound.
Well, you can see Hornacek needed 1 extra dribble, Dick, and he had a layup.
And Exel runs into trouble, and there's Jones for 3. Rebound by Morris.
And Morris has done everything here tonight. Scored the points. He's picking up a lot of garbage, and he's rebounding.
Hornacek behind to Karl Malone. So the 2 of the last 3 times down, Jeff Hornacek effective with no-look passes that resulted in hoops for the Jazz. Fox misses a 3, and the Jazz leading by 3 points. Morris going in against Fox.
Big field goal.
And Chris Morris, and you just pointed out some of his defensive exploits and a chance for a 3-point play. He has already, Hubie, 12 points and 7 boards.
He's running the lanes hard. And once again, Karl Malone makes an excellent decision. Now here he makes the catch. He's to the left side of the rim, and then they have a guy trailing. Now think of it. Their last 3 field goals down here have been with a trailer filling the middle of the lane and receiving a pass.
So the Jazz answering the Laker flurry with a 7-0 run of their own. And with 1:35 to go in the third, again, the crowd is somber once more. Now they get off as Shaq gets the basket and the foul, and Kobe's going to come on in now.
Give the credit there to Fox. Fox hung in there and put a great pick on Antoine Carr. Look to the right of your screen, and he stays with it. See, and that looked a little bit like a football move, and it held up. Antoine Carr gave Shaq daylight to make the catch and the score.
3 on Carr. Remember, they have a lot of fouls to give with their 3-headed center, Shaquille O'Neal. Now 5 of 9 from the line and 27 points in the game, and the Lakers trail by 3, under a minute and a half to go in the third.
Hey, Shaq is 3 for 3 here down the stretch.
But it counts, he's there. Karl Malone driving in against Shaq, and Corey Blount is fouled.
Now that time with the Lakers picking up high, right out half court, that was just an excellent move. Hit the middle of the floor, and then if you have a guy who can put the ball on the floor against his defender, he's taking him 15 feet off the dribble. That was just good, smart basketball.
Karl Malone, and this is really unusual, going to the line for only the first time tonight with 1:19 to go here in the third quarter. That last foul was on Shaq, his 3rd of the game. So it's rare to see Malone not go to the line this far into the game. Eldon Campbell will replace O'Neal, who goes out with 27.
Dick, to back up your point, coming into this game tonight, Karl Malone is averaging 11 foul shot attempts in this series, 11 in the playoffs, and 11 during the 82 games.
Let's say 2 right now, but he has 12 points here in this quarter, 16 in the game. And the Jazz lead by 5. Nick Van Exel using a screen from Corey Blount. And doesn't get the basket, but gets the foul. And will shoot 2.
Whenever Van Exel keeps his dribble, something good has happened for the Lakers and also for himself. Because he's been able to, take his dribble in with the hesitation, get into the lane, and then either score or make a dish or get fouled.
Well, the Lakers have to feel a little frustrated in this sense, Hubie, is that now they're down by 4. They were down by 6. So with all of their spurt here in the third quarter, they've made up only 2 points on the Utah Jazz.
The main thing is that they're playing with more energy.
Right.
And they can see that they can make some runs here. In the first half, they were a little doubtful about whether they could make the runs because they were missing all of their foul shots.
And they've now hit their last 9 from the line. So the Lakers have awakened on the free throw department as well. 10 on the shot clock, under a minute remaining in the third.
Nice.
Here is Antoine Carr, and it's swatted down.
Antoine,
Corey Blount.
You've got to score over Nick Van Exel.
Corey Blount on the block, and Van Exel trying to force the foul. Will not get the personal, and there'll be a jump ball.
Oh, boy. Van Exel all upset. Del Harris upset. Nick's got to be careful now because you don't want to pick up a tee. Keep an eye on Nick. Now, see, once again, he keeps his dribble, gives you the little stutter, and he goes. Now, I tell you, from here, looks like a jump ball. Because when your hands are on the ball, I can grab your hands on the ball. And Tommy Nunes had that one all the way because he was coming right to him.
Van Exel jumping against Isley, and the Lakers control. Kobe Bryant with 19 on the shot clock. You're looking at the game clock here in the third quarter, and Chris Morris with the foul. The Jazz in the penalty, and the Lakers will shoot. That's 3 on Morris.
We'd like to show you a little bit more energy. Now, keep an eye right there. There's your over the top of Van Exel. See, Antoine waited too long. By waiting, we had 4 shirts right in there going for the shot block.
Kobe Bryant makes good on the second. Remember, Bryant is the second leading scorer for the Lakers in this series, and also the second leading scorer in the last round. And he makes the free throw. And Bryant has 6. 72-71. The Jazz down to a 1-point lead. Under half a minute to go. Kobe Bryant with 6 in the game, and goaltending is the call. And Antoine Carr will get credit for the basket.
Now, see, Antoine is getting down inside. We know Antoine can score, and when he is in there, they're going to him because that'll take the pressure off Malone, and he can play on the perimeter a little bit or at the high post.
Jazz by 3. Playing for the last shot for all intents and purposes of the Lakers. They were down by 1 after the first quarter, 6 at the half. Van Exel for 3. Short. So Van Exel took the clock down, dribbled it, and could not convert with a defender left. So this third quarter, not yet history. Shaq with 27.
In this situation, Dick, you're looking for the long pass. You can make a catch and a shot. It does not have to be a tap.
Malone, Carr,
quick. Oh,
no, you can't make the extra pass. No way.
In this half, altogether now, Utah only 6 for 8, LA 4 for 12.
Isley, along with Chris Morris, Karl Malone, Antoine Carr, and Shandon Anderson start out for the Jazz in the fourth quarter. Eldon Campbell with Shaq on the bench, and Malone screaming for a foul, does not get it. And Kobe Bryant travels, and Shandon Anderson did a good job of getting in front of Kobe.
Yeah, he did. When he made the catch, he made sure there was no contact, but his presence was there. Now just keep an eye on it as Kobe catches it. He goes to take the step. Shandon Anderson made sure there was no contact.
Lakers have Van Exel and Jones, along with Campbell, Corey Blunt, and Kobe Bryant. So this is a critical fourth quarter coming up for the Lakers. And the basket inside by Malone. 18 for Karl Malone.
See, once again, they catch the Lakers fronting. They empty out the opposite side. So when that lob pass goes over, the defense has too far to run.
5-point lead for the Jazz in the opening minutes. And a pushing foul on Carr, I believe, on Kobe Bryant.
And, you know, that was too bad because Carr had him pinned behind the glass. Now just look at the lob right there. You see they had the opposite side emptied out, and you just take your time. Just take your presence, look for the ball fake, or just go strong to the hole.
Here is Corey Blunt, and he misses the lay-in. Did not control the pass inside. Malone was defending, and a loose ball foul called against Kobe Bryant. That'll be 3 on Bryant. So how important is this quarter? Well, you know how tough it is if you're down 2-0 in any series. In the Western Conference, no team has ever come back, but 3-0, no one has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. So it is the critical time now for the Lakers.
Now once again, they're bringing Carl to the ball side.
Malone guarded by Corey Blunt in the low post, and Malone gets the basket. 20 now for Malone, and you remember he only had 4 at the half.
Dick, he muscled that one up and in. All right, that was just sheer upper body strength.
And Bryant goes in, and the basket counts and the foul.
Now that was acrobatic. Antoine Carr is all upset, but Kobe Bryant once again gets inside. Now, when he takes his foul shot attempt, this will be his 7th attempt already in this game. Now, this is just a great move, and as he goes, you can see he caught him with the leg. Plus, I thought from our position, our camera position, Carr was inside of the dotted line, so you know you're going to get the foul.
Only the second field goal for Kobe Bryant. 5 personals on Carr, who goes out of the game, replaced by Ostertag. Foster, the other center, has 4, and Ostertag has 3, the fewest of the 3 centers defending Shaq. Shaq, by the way, on the bench, starting this 4th quarter.
High screen and roll.
Isley beating Van Exel and hits the shot. Well executed. How many thousands of times have the Jazz done this?
Well, they follow over the top, Dick, and then the defender on the screen stays back, so the guy with the ball is wide open every time at the foul line.
Out of bounds, last touched by the Jazz. The Lakers have 14 seconds to attempt a shot. And Shaquille O'Neal going to come back in now. 27 points coming into the 4th with his team trailing by 6.
I don't see why not. So what? You say, well, it's 10 minutes and somebody should give him more of a blow. Not necessarily. You got to win this game.
Rest in July.
That's right. This is a big game here tonight. The big fella is scoring points for you. Nice pass.
Great feed inside to Eddie Jones. Jones with 11 points. Struggled early from the field, was 1 for 10 at the half, and the Lakers down by 4. And they've got to stay with the Jazz, a very disciplined, well-organized team. And their Jazz, meanwhile, looking to blow open this series by taking a 3-0 lead.
Rotate the ball.
Foster and Ostertag in the game. Isley misses a 3. Rebound by Shaq.
When you get trapped on the top and they hit you with a pass, defense, will you please make the extra pass?
As long as you say please, Hubie.
Yep, the big key is, remember, in the first half, they made 6 threes. I'm sorry, 5 threes in that right-handed corner, and we haven't seen 1 3 from that corner in this half.
Isley guarded by Van Exel. Ostertag setting a screen on the outside. 4 on the shot clock. And Isley finally puts it up. A lot of Isley on that play, but Foster comes down with the offensive rebound. Stripped away by Kobe Bryant. You're right. And the foul on Eddie Jones. Kobe Bryant with a big defensive play, and Morris picks up his 4th.
Well, when Shaq comes in the game in round 1 and 2, he averaged 4 assists a game.
And Isley and Robert Horry obviously hobbling as he comes back in the game. He is limping clearly.
Oh, nice
Shaq
inside.
Goes up over Ostertag and hits 29 for Shaquille O'Neal, and it's a 2-point Utah lead.
That was cute. They ran a curl around Shaquille, and then the curl man, as he was open, he came right back and screened Shaq's man and opened him up.
Shandon Anderson, who didn't always get a chance to play at critical times in late season, getting more of a chance now by Coach Jerry Sloan. And there is the screen and roll from Isley to Malone, and the foul inside. Malone will go to the line, and Shaq with foul number 4.
See, Malone releases early, and when he releases early, he's such a big target. Watch it right here. See, there's the early release, and on the catch, he's taking it strong. And if you notice, he turned his back and forced the defender to come over his back. And there's no way you're going to get a clean block, because even if you get it, you're going to have body contact.
Karl Malone with a big second half. He had 29 points in game 1 of this series, 33 in game number 2. And now looking for point number 20. And Corey Blunt back on the bench as Horry came in. So Horry out there with O'Neal, Bryant, Eddie Jones, and Nick Van Exel. Lakers undefeated at home in the playoffs, 4-0, and they've won by double-digit margins. But now they're playing Utah, and they trail by 4. Crowd not in support right now. They're kind of sitting on their hands as Shaq goes in, and the crowd cheers, but O'Neal has 31, Hugh.
See, all of that movement was designed, misdirection, to get the defense to move so Shaq could post up in the middle of the lane right in front of the ring.
Lakers making a run down by 2. Isley with a miss. And here come the Lakers looking to at least tie the score. Trailing 2-0 in the best of 7 in the Western Finals. Bryant gets it in low to Shaq. And Shaq misses the shot. Ostertag gets the board. Very quiet crowd considering the import. Shandon Anderson showing his athletic move going baseline in the reverse slam.
Oh, that was just a beautiful reverse move because the defender went over the top of the screen.
Everyone contributing for the Utah Jazz bench tonight, as they usually do. Eddie Jones hits a three. Eddie Jones with his second from downtown now has 14 points. And that came at a big time. Lakers down by only one.
Yeah, Shandon Anderson very upset with himself because he slipped. When he fell down, Eddie Jones stepped right deep, and the pass was on the money.
Little under 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Now or never for the Lakers. Here's Anderson with a quick turnaround. And Shandon Anderson, the last 2 times down, has scored big buckets for the Jazz.
Well, you see that time. Anytime Van Exel picks anyone up, they run them right into the lane area, and they're going to post them.
Anderson now defending Jones. Plenty of time on the shot clock for L.A. 9 now. Van Exel goes right back to Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, he missed the first one, and Ostertag got a great view of a spectacular slam.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ostertag, he did not put his body into the chest of Shaq.
Brian Russell driving to the basket, fouled, and a little temper flare here.
Yeah, Russell's telling him about it. See, he really laid one on. Yeah, Russell's out there, and he's telling him about it. Now keep an eye on Shaq as he shoots it, and he steps right inside of Ostertag. See, he catches him off balance, and it just sent it down. Sheer power.
And Kobe Bryant picks up his.
Here. Eddie Jones decides to go up over the top. Anderson steps right back, receives the pass, and then blows right by him for the layup. This is just the old story. You're reading your defensive man, and now once you make the catch, you know, Horry was late stepping off of Karl Malone. Now we're just going to give it to you again. Now you're going to see it blowing by, and that's just bad communication between 2 defenders.
I can't believe how passive this crowd is with so much at stake here, with the Jazz leading by 1 nearly halfway through this fourth quarter. You know, at the Delta Center, they'd be at a fevered pitch. Of course, people will say small town cities that don't have that many teams, louder crowds in Los Angeles, which a lot going on. But this Laker crowd does not seem to be high enough in the decibel department. 1 free throw by Russell, and the score is 87-85 in favor of Utah.
I do believe that people used to comment about that in the 80s when they had Showtime here.
Yes, they did. So nothing has changed.
No, nothing has changed. It's right.
Here is Shaq against Ostertag. It rolls out, and the rebound by Brian Russell. Well, Utah shooting nearly 60% in this fourth quarter. L.A. is 8 of 11 from the field, so they're at least shooting their way back to try to win a game here and make it 2-1. John Stockton into the game for the Jazz, and Shandon Anderson fires away from the corner.
See, that's a bonus because Anderson very seldom goes from the perimeter. A good read by Stockton because Malone did not open up on that screen and spot up.
Jazz by 4 and get the ball back on a turnover inside. And here is Stockton feeding Anderson. Reverse layup. Karl Malone gets the loose ball. Remember what Pat Riley said. Team that wins titles gets all the loose balls, and wending his way through was Brian Russell. He has 13 now, and all of a sudden the Jazz lead by 6.
They are so quick when you have Russell and Anderson. They are 2 slashers, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking to take you strong.
Van Exel finds Shaq. And that's where you want to get away. You don't want to commit a foul. Shaq with 35 points after 31 in game number 2. And it's a 4-point lead for the Jazz, 91-87. Shandon Anderson with the basket and the foul by Eddie Jones. And the Jazz come right back. 4 on Jones, Hubie.
Well, when you talk to the Utah staff about Shandon Anderson, they'll always tell you that they love to post them up first. That's the first move that they're looking for because he's excellent with his back to the basket. He has quick moves down inside.
Second leading rebounder and shooting 50% coming in, so he has 9 points in under 3 minutes, and the Jazz leading by 7 with 4.5 minutes to go. And the time starting to run out on the Lakers. O'Neal fouled as he challenged Ostertag there.
Now that was a man-size attempted dunk. He was going strong. I give Ostertag credit because he actually challenged that and went for the block. Now just watch. Ostertag tries to help out. He's out of position. Now watch him recover. He goes for it, and the big fella was sending that one down.
4 personals on Ostertag. Lakers 1 of 1 from the line. They can't complain. They have been going to the free throw line a great deal in this series and in the first half tonight, but not in the second half as Shaq misses a free throw. He is 5 for 10. It's better than his average of 42%. 2 big free throws missed, and what makes you think that the Jazz are very much in control, even though it's 7. They're not making a lot of mistakes when they have the ball.
Oh, well, that's what they're noted for, and you know that they're going to run their offense to perfection, and they're going to take their time and run precious seconds.
John Stockton with a wild 3. He was wide open, and he missed by a tremendous margin. Here's Van Exel going for 3. Shaq with the offensive rebound. Van Exel's going to fire it away again. And
wow,
that looked like a drill in practice. Shaquille O'Neal with the ball going off the top of the rim, slams it through. 37 points and 14 rebounds for the big guy, and it's 94-89. The lead is 5. Malone over Horry, and a big basket, as he's always done, for Karl Malone, 22.
See, they took that, they ran the screen, Karl rolled into the post, they didn't like what they had, Karl just stepped right out, and he's so confident in that 15 to 18-foot shot.
And he has 18 of his 22 points in the second half tonight for the Jazz.
But because he's also a better defender on Eddie Jones.
Lakers with 2 full timeouts and a 20. Neither team has a foul to give. 3:15 to go in the 4th quarter. Every possession is crucial for the Lakers here.
2-man game.
Shaq guarded by Malone, trying to back Karl in there. Doesn't work. And a loose ball foul against the Jazz. And, of course, this will be a shooting situation. 2 shots coming up. Chris Morris with his 5th foul.
Now, this is just sheer muscle against muscle. Look at Karl. 2 guys with incredible upper body strength. He's going to force him to shoot up over the top. It doesn't go down. But they catch Morris with the loose ball foul.
Horry, 3 of 4 from the line. And hits the first one. Now, with the Jazz, stick with Malone on Shaq inside the rest of the way.
Yeah, well, with the guys out on the floor, that's what they're going to do. And, you know, this is a lineup that they went with an awful lot during the course of the year. They have great confidence in their speed runners out here. So that if you make a mistake and they get out on the floor. Now, the only trouble with this is that they're small. They're small right now. Karl is the main man.
Shaq getting the offensive rebound off the miss from Horry, working in against Malone. A great spin move in. That was a great move by Shaq, who has 39 points. And the lead is 4. 96-92 Utah. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Jazz leading 2-0, best of 7. And there is Anderson at the baseline, knocked away. And it's last touched by the Lakers. So the Jazz will have 11 seconds to try the shot.
See, right now you have Karl Malone out there as your big guy. You have 4 road runners at the other position. 4 guys who are slashers and quick off the dribble. So you're looking for fouls and you're looking to take people to the basket.
So that's Stockton, Morris, Russell, and Anderson that you referred to. And there is Karl looking for an open space. Misses. Anderson fighting for the offensive rebound, and it is still Utah's ball.
See, this is where you bring it out all night, Dick. Anderson's leading them with 4 offensive rebounds a game in this series, and he's getting 7 per game. So, you know, he's doing an excellent job. Now, they're bringing Antoine Carr in here right now.
And he's coming in with 5 fouls as Morris will sit down. So they have Morris along with Malone, or I should say Carr along with Malone, with Russell Anderson and John Stockton.
See, they'll milk the clock. They'll run a good clock here right now. Play 2-man game.
And Eddie Jones got a piece of that one from Brian Russell. Good defensive play by Eddie Jones, giving the Lakers a chance now. Winding down to 2 minutes, a 4-point lead. Crowd on its feet. Van Exel looking for Horry. 2 minutes to go, and Horry in and out with the three-point attempt. And
Look up.
Karl Malone out to Russell, and the Lakers using some clock again. Under 2 minutes to go, 13 on the shot clock for Utah.
Utah's 4 timeouts. Lakers have 2 and a 20.
And there's Brian Russell going back behind the line, and a dagger by Brian Russell. That's his third three-pointer of the game, and the Jazz lead it 99-92. And the Lakers want a 22nd timeout. Brian Russell has not missed tonight, Hubie. He is 6 for 6 from the field. When you talk about the old guys like Stockton and Malone, we've seen the young guys in Anderson and Russell tonight.
How about the production out of the small forward position with Morris and Russell? We're talking about a ton of points and excellent defense and helping out on the glass.
And there it is.
Big shot.
And Utah has really done the damage from threes tonight.
Well, the reason why we brought out the 3 points early, Utah only attempted 7 during the year, 7 in the first 2 games of this series, and here they are tonight, 7 for 11. Big.
Lakers with 2 full timeouts remaining. As you pointed out, Utah has 4 full timeouts. Probably won't need them. Rick Fox will inbound. Fox with Horry, O'Neal, Van Exel, and Jones. Minute and a half to go. 7-point Jazz lead. Minute and a half away from taking a 3-0 lead in the series. Jones misses, but cleaning up is Robert Horry.
Now you have plenty of time here right now. The big thing is the Lakers need a stop. If they don't get a stop, what you want is a shot, a missed shot, okay, and then a potential fast break.
Stockton handling the ball with hands by Jones. 7 on the shot clock. Russell driving strong to the basket, and a foul. Brian Russell alertly, with time running down, did the best thing. He went to the hoop.
Now this is just nothing but great, smart basketball. Take it strong. Now as this shot goes up, keep an eye to the left of your screen. And then here comes Horry. This is just a monster rebound dunk.
5 fouls on Shaquille O'Neal. 1 more and he is gone as Russell misses the free throw. Remember, a year ago in the second round, Jazz beat the Lakers in the first 2 at Salt Lake City. Lakers won by 20 in game 3 before Utah closed them out in 5. And the Lakers trying to stay alive and win 1 at home. 17 for Brian Russell.
Well, you're only down 2 possessions if you're thinking threes.
Lakers always think threes. Jones, however, in the paint. Van Exel fires away and misses a 3-point attempt. Carr the rebound, and there's Stockton.
Long. There it is.
To Shandon Anderson, and he lays it in. Foul by Fox, and the Utah Jazz can sense a 3-0 lead in this series. And maybe Del Harris can as well. It's 102-94, under a minute remaining. And the Utah Jazz sending this Forum crowd to the exits. And an advantage for the Utah Jazz as well, because if they can win this series in 4 or 5, and anticipating maybe Chicago, Indiana going 5 or 6, maybe the Jazz can get some extra bench, and Russell, Morris, and Anderson in double figures, really doing more than their share.
It's just been excellent, Dick, and you got to give Jerry Sloan and his staff a lot of credit. The way they manipulated the young guys in there and then stayed with them at the end when they were slashing and scoring. And then Russell, that was a big 3. You called it, and you called it right, a dagger.
Remember those days in which they said the Utah Jazz had no depth?
Oh yeah, well now they can only play 10 guys. They have 10 guys in this series averaging over 15 minutes. That's confidence in your bench.
Malone and Shaq and Karl Malone with the foul. We have 34.7 on the clock. 102-94, and O'Neal will go to the line.
Well, the Lakers will step back from this game and look at it and say, look, the foul line hurt us again. Our perimeter people struggled. At halftime, our 4 key guards were 4 for 19 from the field. Things did not work well. You say, well, they made a run and they were there and they had a chance to get it done. Sure they did. But then again, you're playing a quality team like the Jazz. They took your blow and then they just regrouped.
Inside the NBA follows the end of this game, and it is a sad kind of a finish for the home crowd, because the Lakers very confident that they would come home and win game number 3 and at least set up game number 4, but they're going to be down 3-0, and as you know, no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in a best-of-7 series in NBA history. And by the way, on Inside the NBA, George Karl, the coach of the Seattle Sonics, will be in our Atlanta studios. Lakers missing 15 free throws tonight, but I have to say that in the first half that was an issue. In the second half, Utah Jazz, smart play, protecting the ball, well-executed offense, and the defense throughout the whole game.
Well, that's why they're so solid. I mean, give them the defense, you know. They've been able to take this team and then run their little runs because of their defense, holding them to one shot, coming down, executing, getting to the foul line.
Seconds away from inside the, and they'll get there someday, because they've got a great team and a great big man in O'Neal, but the mental toughness by the Jazz wins out.
Well, we made a point early in the game, and that is that when you take 25% of your offense in three-point shots, you have got to make them. Coming in here tonight, they were 4 for 20. And once again tonight, they struggled with their threes.
They live and die by them.
5 for 17 in threes tonight.
Eddie Jones with the lay-in as the Jazz reluctant to foul. Stockton is fouled by Fox. Karl Malone, who had only 4 points. Remember, we told you that there were a total of 6 points at the half between Malone and Stockton. Well, Karl Malone had 20 points in the second half for 24.
Now, you know, we always talk about good shooters and great shooters. This guy is a great shooter. During the course of the year, he shot 53% from the field. Now, you don't have 5 guards in this league doing that. He was 43 in threes and 83 on the line, and he just does this year in and year out.
That's why when Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, unanimous picks for first-team NBA, you understand why. Nick Van Exel, they're not going to foul him as he lays it in. 20 seconds to go, and a foul called. Rick Fox committing the foul, and he is fouled out. Rick Fox fouled out, but he had a very successful playoff, and Fox doing a lot of things for the Lakers. An unsung player on a team with a lot of dazzling stars, came over from the Boston Celtics. He fouls out tonight, having scored 9.
He's been very consistent in all the games, just like he had during the course of the season. Rick had an excellent year. You know, he played 35 minutes a game. He scored 11 points. He had 5 assists. He shot 46%. He was a good defender for them.
20 seconds to go. Kobe Bryant off the glass on the three-point attempt, and now the Lakers are not even going to bother to foul.
They just play keep away with you. Yeah. You just melt it down.
Big win. The Utah Jazz come to the Forum and defeat the LA Lakers. And a foul is called with 4.8 seconds to go. Shaquille O'Neal fouls out of the game. Tell you what, he gave it everything he had. 39 points, took 30 shots, had 15 rebounds.
No, the big fella was all over the place, and when he had the opportunity, he picked up assists by hitting key people. The only trouble is that the perimeter game struggled for such a long period of time, and then in the first half they had the opportunities to stay even or to be ahead, but you had to make the open threes and you had to make your foul shots.
Karl Malone now with 21 here in the second half of his 25 points. Game 4 will be Sunday here at the Forum. But the Jazz go in with a 3-0 lead. And for all intents and purposes, this series is going to be history. That is the end of the game. Triumphant contest for the Utah Jazz as they win a big road game. And the final score, the Jazz 109.